The US elections are elaborate and complex to understand, but not anymore. As in today's episode of Simplified, we'll be breaking down the process of how the United States of America elects its president while drawing parallels with the Indian election system to make things more relatable. Before moving forward, there's one thing to take note of. The powers of the post of President in the United States are more equivalent to that of the Prime Minister of India, as the post of President in India holds lesser power. So, the references in this video will be to the post of the Prime Minister of India. The first step in this journey is the Declaration of Intention. In India, one political party usually has one candidate at the forefront, but this is not the case in the US, where several candidates in one political party file their nominations and then the public chooses who their presidential candidate from the party should be. Whereas in India, the names of candidates interested in running for polls are not revealed to the public and the decisions take place behind closed doors. For instance, in the 2004 Lok Sabha elections, people when voting had no idea that Dr. Manmohan Singh was going to be the Prime Minister. But in the US, the citizens are always in the loop. For example, Donald Trump, Nikki Haley, and Vivek Ramaswamy belong to the same political party, but they still file their nominations, leaving it for the supporters of the party to decide who their candidate should be. The next step is primaries and caucuses. Primary and caucus is the stage where people vote for their preferred candidate in a political party. I know it might be getting a bit too overwhelming here, so let's bring in some Indian context. If primaries and caucuses were implemented in India, let's find out how it would work out. The Congress party is not sure about who its PM candidate should be. To choose its candidate, the party could organize primaries and caucuses. Polling stations can be set up in various parts of the country, where people can vote who the Congress's PM candidate should be. Primaries and caucuses do the same job, but there's some difference in the way they do it. Primaries are state-regulated events, and the voting takes place through a secret ballot. Whereas caucuses are less regulated events, where people assemble in community halls, sports arena, and even cafeterias. Here, instead of voting in a secret ballot, people convey their candidate preferences by raising their hands. In primaries and caucuses, the presidential candidates are represented by delegates in each state. The more votes a candidate gets, more delegates he or she wins. Let's take an example from the upcoming USA elections. From the Democratic Party, President Joe Biden, Jason Palmer, and Marianne Williamson, among others, had filed their nominations. To find out who the people wanted as their candidate, across the 50 states, the party conducted primaries and caucuses. Joe Biden, represented by his delegates, got the most number of votes and won 2,107 delegates. Jason Palmer won 3 and Marianne Williamson won 0. Hence, Joe Biden became the number one contender. The next stage is National Convention, where the party's official presidential candidate is chosen. These events are a mere formality, as by now, after the primaries and caucuses, people already know which candidate has the support of the most number of delegates. At the national conventions, the delegates confirm their vote, and the candidate who gets the majority becomes the party's official presidential candidate.
Nominee for president, a candidate must receive a majority.
The next step is campaigning and participating in TV debates. The candidates travel across the country and promote themselves. Candidates also feature in one-on-one TV debates, where they challenge the opposition and talk about the things they will do if they come to power.
Gentlemen, a lot of people have been waiting for this night, so let's get going. Our first subject is the Supreme Court.
Imagine if this was done in India. How fun would it be to see BJP's Narendra Modi in a debate with the opposition's Rahul Gandhi or Arvind Kejriwal? The TRPs would surely go off the charts. Now when the parties have their candidates chosen, it is finally time when the voting for the national presidential election takes place. Citizens across the country vote to elect the members to the House of Representatives and Senate. We can term it as their Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Right next to the names of the candidates contesting for the House of Representatives and Senate, their party's presidential candidate's name is also written, making it easy for the voter to make a decision. The final stage in the process is the Electoral College. Chosen members for the House of Representatives and Senate form the Electoral College, making a total strength of 538 electors. Each elector is pledged to vote for their party's presidential candidate. The final voting takes place on the party whose candidate crosses the majority mark of 270 electoral votes wins. In the 2020 elections, Joe Biden got 306 electoral votes and became the President of the United States of America.
I, Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
office of President of the United States.
So that was the US election simplified. The information shared in this video was sourced from the official US government website. To know more about the topic, please refer to the links in the video's description box. Thank you.